Yep, we are live. We are live. Welcome everybody to the stream special episode today. This is our first guest ever on the SEANvsALL stream. We're happy to have the two creators and developers behind the Umbria Bridge. We're going to get into what that is and why you need to start using it. What is up to everyone in chat? Real quick, shout out Zed Retro in the building. Zedric, my right-hand man. Papusa Joe. McRussell's here, Ortega in the building, CLP is here, got to get this win, War Pony Racing, Hillside is here, Bad Crockett is here, Rorca Vinny, yeah, okay, I got it. Roll call is done. Gentlemen, how are we feeling?
Great. Really good. Thank you for having us for this chat.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Real quick, first thing, you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves and tell you, or just speak a little bit about the Umbria that we're going to discuss today.
Sure. I'm Dev Oski, and this is Dev Barnyard, and we're both developers on the Umbria platform, but we're actually twin brothers, so we've been doing software development with each other for quite a while, and we're calling from Gibraltar at the moment, so it's 5 a.m. here, so pretty late, but still very keen to have this chat. And so what we've come up with recently is a new style of cross-chain bridge, which is enabling cross-chain transactions for way cheaper than the official Polygon bridge. And so on the official Polygon bridge, people will be using that to transfer like Ethereum or any token, for example, between the Polygon and Ethereum chains. And you can go one way or you can go the other way. And it's a way to get your assets between one chain to the next. But the problem with the Polygon bridge is that it's a validator-driven bridge, and that causes it to be very slow and very expensive. So what we've come up with is a way to take away a lot of the encumbrances of the validator-driven model and create a new style of bridge called a liquidity bridge, and we're calling it the Umbria Bridge. And it's 10 times cheaper and 10 times faster than the Polygon bridge. So since we've launched that, we've seen quite a bit of adoption from the Zedrun community, because obviously a lot of people are trying to get their ETH into the Zedrun platform. And so now we're just spreading the word on what's possible with it and letting people know how to use it and that kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the one thing I did right before we got online, guys, is I have a new command for our channel. It's just bridge. If you just do the exclamation point bridge, it's going to bring up the website for the bridge. And you know, I was thinking about doing, I am going to do a live demo so you guys can see exactly how it works. OG Evergreen, shout out to Jarek. He made a great video on YouTube as well, kind of explaining this, and he has a Zedrun audience. So I know a lot of people have found value in that, and I'm going to do a live demo as well. But one thing I just wanted to, I was telling the guys here before we got on is that I had a situation today where it was like the perfect use case of why it's better to have a quicker and less expensive bridge to use when you need to go from Ethereum to the wrapped Ether. And it was a situation where, shout out to Naptown Colts, I don't know if he's here, but he had a horse for sale. He tweeted about it. I really liked the price he was asking. I liked the horse, and I didn't have any ETH, and I immediately thought, Umbria, let me go ahead and try this out. And I went and did it, and I mean, it was about 7 minutes and about $7 or somewhere, give or take US, you know, but I mean, before, when you have to wait for these long delays and obviously it's more expensive, but you can miss out on a situation like that where there's something that you need to have that wrapped ETH to buy something on OpenSea, and this just literally helped me so much today. It was like the perfect use case example, I think, of it. So I'm gonna go through a little demo with that. But I know one of the things I'm curious about is, you said this was like a liquidity, right? Based on liquidity. So is that what enables it to be cheaper and faster? And I'm a smooth brain, right? So like, explain why this is so much quicker and less expensive, and I think our audience will find value in that.
Yeah, okay, sure. So the traditional bridging model essentially uses like very specific types of smart contracts to lock up tokens on one side and then mint tokens or unlock tokens on the other blockchain. And all of that stuff has to be done with validators checking that everything that happened correctly, so that people don't, create tokens out of thin air or accidentally burn tokens they're not meant to burn or whatever it might be. And that process can be incredibly expensive, particularly when you're on some blockchains like Ethereum that have really high gas prices. And we're seeing, like right now, today, for example, it can cost anywhere between $400 and $600 to transfer through the typical Polygon bridge to get onto Polygon from Ethereum. But with our bridge, essentially the way it works is we have two liquidity pools for the same asset on different blockchains. So let's say you wanted to move Ethereum over, we would have a liquidity pool on Ethereum and then a wrapped liquidity pool for wrapped Ethereum on Polygon as well. And when a user wants to bridge over, let's say $1,000 of Ethereum, they put their Ethereum into one side of the bridge that goes into the liquidity pool there. And then on the other blockchain, $1,000 of Ethereum gets pulled out of that liquidity pool to pay the person who's bridging over. And then a small percentage of that goes to the people who are providing liquidity on both sides of our bridge. And that's kind of like the revenue model that our users have for providing liquidity.
Yeah, so it really just boils down to the price of what two raw transactions would cost, one on the first network and one on the second network. So the price of bridging Ethereum from the Ethereum network to the Polygon network only costs as much as sending Ethereum to somebody would cost, because you just have to send your Ethereum to the bridge, and then the bridge sends you Ethereum on Polygon, which is basically free. And that's the whole thing. It's removed all of the validator-driven expenses that the Polygon bridge is suffering from.
Oh,
yeah, but the beautiful thing as well is the people that are providing liquidity to both sides of this bridge, they're not going to have any impermanent loss on their assets. If you provide liquidity on Uniswap or on Sushi Swap or something like that, you always provide liquidity as a pair of two different tokens. And those tokens are kind of pegged together so that if the price of one of those tokens goes up, you actually lose the upside of that as those two tokens rebalance their value. But with the Umbria bridge, you don't have to have that problem because you're only providing one asset at once as liquidity. And so when the price of your asset goes to the moon, you reap all the benefits of that compared to something like Uniswap where you'd lose half your upside.
Awesome. Well, that actually wasn't that hard to understand the way you guys explained it. I mean, it makes sense to me. Is just you're going here and here versus going from here to here. It's just there's two sides of it, right? So someone had posted a good video in chat. I'm gonna play this for our audience real quick.
Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme la chancla y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Había subido la marea y encontré una paella. Estaba la paellera agarrada, metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y a ver solamente paellera. Mira dónde llega el agua. Llega el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea.
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the issues that a lot of people coming into Zed face is like all this stuff is confusing. They don't understand the fees. They don't understand the wait time. I mean, I could speak to my experience when I got into like my very first time trying to get onto Zed, crossing a bridge for the first time. It didn't make sense to me why it was so expensive and why it took so long. And then, I mean, eventually I figured it out. And now it's just, like for the longest, it was just like, okay, well, this is just what I have to deal with because there's no other solution. But there was clearly a pain point this whole time. And I think you guys are doing a wonderful job to address that pain point. For everyone in chat, feel free to drop your questions in here. I'm going to go through a couple of them. The first one, Golden Glow asks, is how do you put ETH into the liquidity pool? Which I'm curious about that as well. So can you guys kind of break down how to get started with that? And then I'm driving over here. So if you want me to click on anything, let me know.
Yeah, easy. So to provide liquidity to the bridge, you just have to click the pool and earn button that's just showing on the screen right now. And then once you've done that, it'll show you a whole bunch of different assets that you can provide as liquidity to the system. And you can also choose which side of the bridge you want to provide as well. And so right now, I think our best APY is about 45%, and that would be Ethereum on the Polygon network. But you can see here, this is all the Ethereum network tokens that can be provided as liquidity right now.
Yeah, so there's a little switcher at the top where it says Ethereum network. You can switch over to the Polygon network, and then it'll show you all the different APYs that are available on the Polygon network. And I think actually on Polygon, it's probably more like 60% APY on Ethereum right now, because that's the most used. Yeah, so almost 60%. And so that's no impermanent loss. And so it's an insanely high APY right now for Ethereum. I think normally on places like Sushi Swap and things like that, you get between like 10 and 15%. So this is like an unprecedented high APY. So it's a good time to look at staking your Ethereum if you have some.
Yeah.
As long as you have a wallet, all you have to do is click which tab you want to provide liquidity for, and then the add liquidity button, and say how much you want to provide, and then that's pretty much it.
Right, right.
Especially since you don't have to provide the token pairs like Ethereum and Matic together, like the loss or impairment loss or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, for anyone that's got ETH sitting around, and I know a lot of us do, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? You know, like that's an 60% is a lot. You know what I mean? If you're just gonna have some Ethereum sitting around. So I know personally, I'm gonna look into this. I'm definitely gonna do this. But I wanted to show an example for the Zedrun audience that we have here on how to use the bridge, right? So let me switch back my wallet here. And so go ahead, Tommy.
There's another question. Where can I buy Umber?
So right now you can buy it on Uniswap.
Okay.
And that would be a Uniswap V2 pair. So not the new V3 pairs that they have, the V2. And then you can also buy it if you have your assets on Polygon already, you can go to the Umbria DEX and purchase it there as well.
Perfect. I'm gonna do a quick example here. I'm gonna do 0.25 ETH and show you guys how this works. I'm sending this from the Ethereum network over to the Polygon network. I'm gonna hit send. I'm gonna sign this here. And, you know, again, it took me, I counted earlier, it was about 7 minutes or so before I had it. And then I'm gonna do one additional step and send it into my Zedrun account, which is, you know, the use case we're kind of focused on here with Zedrun, and kind of show people how this works. So like I said, this will take about 7 minutes or so, 7 to 10 minutes. J-Man says no impermanent loss. No, J-Man, it's not. For anyone that just jumped in, can you kind of just break that down really quick one more time on the difference of it? Because it's just, some people are just kind of trickling in. So I want to make sure we all understand that one.
Yeah, sure. So when you provide liquidity to a pair on, say, Uniswap or Sushi Swap, you're always providing two assets at the same time, a pair of assets, so people can trade between the two, and then you get a liquidity pair token back. And so when you provide those two pieces of liquidity, if one of those tokens goes up in price a lot, your LP token will reflect a different amount of those assets per LP token. And so let's say that, for example, Ethereum went up 100% and you have a Ethereum USDT pair, you actually lose half the upside of the Ethereum going up, and you get more of the USDC back because the ratio of those two tokens has changed. And so you don't lose money, but you gain less money when the price goes up. And so that isn't actually a problem with our liquidity pools, because you're not providing two assets that get rebalanced with each other. You're just providing the one asset. And so if that asset goes up 50%, you reap the rewards of that 50% uptick.
Right. Yeah, great explanation. Just want to make sure everyone is crystal clear on that. Yeah, man, this is great. This is a game changer for people that play Zed. I mentioned at the top of the stream, so if you're just joining in, but there was a situation today where Naptown Colts posted on Twitter, they had a horse for sale. I didn't have the wrapped ETH on OpenSea to buy it. I needed to very quickly convert from Ethereum over to wrapped ETH, and I was able to do that with the Umbria Bridge Took me about 7 minutes or so. I think it was around $7 to do it in fees, but I definitely think everyone in the chat right now needs to bookmark this, get familiar. It's very easy to use. I'm doing a live demo now, but I have a command in my Twitch chat, bridge, and so go ahead and bookmark that one as well.
Yeah, and if anyone's questions about how any of this works, feel free to jump in our Discord channel. We're pretty much there like 18 hours a day, making sure everyone's running smoothly with all this stuff, because it's such a new project and a new product. And really, the Zedrun community is basically the only community who knows about it. We're going to be spreading the word to lots of different NFT communities and adding new chains and new assets over the next few months. But this thing is only a few weeks old, so we're watching it with our hawk eyes and just making sure everyone's having a good experience with it. So we're very available for people to ask us questions and chat with us about how it works and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I dropped both of the co-founders that have joined us today. I've dropped both of their Twitters inside of Twitch chat, so make sure you drop them a follow. And then real quick, while we wait for this to wrap up, tell us a little bit about like the future of this is a kind of a newer thing, and just kind of explain what can we look forward to in the future from Umbria.
Sure. I'll go ahead. All right, cool. So there's basically a DEX war going out in DeFi land right now. Lots of different DEXs have started. They're all competing for liquidity, and it's a hyper competitive space. When we came into the DeFi space, we thought to ourselves, we'd like to make a DEX, but really we don't have anything that's going to be competitive with Sushi Swap or with Uniswap or anything like that. What can we do to get liquidity and be a real competitive DEX? And so what we've done with this bridge is we've designed it in such a way that we can add any asset on any chain to it, and then provide a way for people to migrate their assets from any exchange to any from any network, any asset, any exchange into our platform. So what we're going to be doing in the next few months is rolling out a migration tool so that anybody can quickly migrate their liquidity from anywhere in the crypto ecosystem into our exchange and build up a really big, solid, competitive exchange with a lot of liquidity very quickly. And so what we're going to have at the end of the day is a very robust decentralized exchange, hopefully comparable to Uniswap or Sushi Swap, but with all of the advantages of the Polygon chain, making the fees really low and really, really cheap. But also with the bridge, we'll have a way for people to move assets out of our exchange to anywhere that they want to go. And we'll have like a glued together crypto ecosystem where you can move any assets from anywhere to anywhere without really having to know about all these different, blockchains, layer twos, different networks, things like that. It's going to be sort of a layer on top of all of that to make it all a lot more seamless and a lot more easy.
Right.
Yeah. And so when Sushi came out in early 2020, they managed to essentially get tens of millions of dollars of liquidity very quickly from Uniswap, because they provided an extra incentive for their users. They got to earn Sushi token along with any of the underlying assets that getting as fees for providing liquidity. And that was like a real fundamental change in how DEXs worked. And that was like such a fundamental change that everyone realized how amazing that was, and quickly moved from Uniswap to Sushi Swap. And we think that we've gone one step further now, and we're doing basically to all the other DEXs what Sushi Swap did to Uniswap, because we're going to be able to provide people moving any of their assets from any chain into our DEX with the click of a button. And that's just going to be such a fundamental shift, because it means that the amount of liquidity that we can get on our DEX is going to be so astronomical that the slippage for any pair, we think, is just going to be negligible. And it's going to allow people to get the robust feature set of Polygon, so low fees and fast transactions, and then also have no slippage for any of the transactions they want to do. But further than that, we're going to be making a change to the bridge, where if you provide Umbria to the bridge as liquidity, not only will you earn APY on the Umbria swapping, but you'll actually get APY on all of the other assets that people are swapping from one blockchain to another.
Oh, so we should explain. That's Umber, our native governance token that we're talking about there.
So
Sure.
right now, provide if you want to bridge assets from, let's say, Ethereum to Polygon on our bridge, it costs a 0.3% fee. And 0.2% of that goes to the people providing liquidity, and then the other 0.1% of that goes to the dev team for organizing everything and keeping development going on the system. But that's going to change. So that's going to change from a 0.3% fee to a 0.5% fee. And 0.2 of that will still go to the liquidity providers of each asset, but the other 0.3 won't go to the Umbria team. It'll go to everyone that's holding the Umbria token and staking that in the system. So if we have a 50% APY on Ethereum right now, which is about what we have, about 15 to 20% extra APY is just going to be given to all of the Umbria users that have staked their asset on the bridge. And that's going to be true for any asset that we add to the bridge. And so we believe that once we have more people using the bridge for different assets, the APY for staking Umbria is just going to be like astronomically high, in the order of probably hundreds of percent per year. And it's going to be paid in those native assets, not in Umbria. So we think it's going to be basically the highest APY of any place that you can find, with no impermanent loss, and in assets that people want, like Ethereum, like stablecoins. And so that's the thing I'm most excited about in the bridge coming out soon.
Yeah, and just one final thought on top of that is that the liquidity in the bridge is used hyper efficiently. Let me see if I can formulate this properly. If you want to do a $10,000 bridge, the Ethereum blocks happen every 15 seconds or so. So you can do $10,000 every 15 seconds just from having $100,000 of liquidity in the bridge, because we allow people to do 10% of the liquidity in one transaction. That's like the maximum we allow. So just having $100,000 of Ethereum is enabling $10,000 of migration every 15 seconds in the best case. So we only need like that much liquidity to do an insane amount of volume with how we've set this thing up. So introducing new assets is not going to be that difficult, because we don't need that much liquidity to facilitate massive cross-chain migrations of assets.
Wow, that sounds like a real game changer in this space, and a lot of us are new, and I think us learning about Umbria is, this is all wonderful. I want to get to some of the questions that we have in chat. Someone has asked, how long does do the assets have to be staked for?
Sure. So the fees are calculated every 5 minutes on the transactions that just went through. So as long as you stake for more than 5 minutes and a transaction happens within that time, you'll earn fees for that transaction.
Right. So there's no, you got to lock it away for X number of months or anything like that. You could get in and out, right?
Or anything like that.
Yeah, we try and make it as painless as possible.
Right. Yeah, no, that's huge. That's huge. Yeah, guys, drop your questions in chat real quick. While you guys get some questions here in the chat, I just want to show you guys, this is already done. We've already successfully crossed a bridge. I'm going to go ahead and send this into my Zed account. I want to show you guys how to do it. So after you're done with these steps, what I'm going to do is pull up Zedrun. I'm going to pull up my wallet here. I'm going to hit top up WETH balance, and this gives me my public address here. I'm going to copy my address. I'm going to bring down MetaMask, and I'm going to send, and I will change this to the wrapped ETH balance, and I'll send 0.1, hit next, hit confirm. And this, when I've done this before, and it's just lightning fast, man. It's such a game changer for us. And it's just so easy to use. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, almost instant, right? Like it's literally almost instant.
Something we would love is we would love to get the Zedrun developers to implement our API so that they can have our bridging software in their platform. And so we're trying to call upon the community of Zedrun to talk to the developers and say, hey, you could easily implement this bridge into your system and make it a seamless part of your onboarding process. Because you don't have to go to the Umbria website to use this stuff. There is a programming API that any developer can integrate into their platform and make it part of their ecosystem pretty easily.
Wow. Because yeah, I mean, people who do this sort of swap stuff inside of the Zedrun, like they know the pain behind it. I mean, it takes
the Matic API right now.
Right. And I mean, we've all seen it. It's like there it is. By the way, the transfer is done. I'm completely done. All in all, this takes under 10 minutes. So that's an example there, guys. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out and shoot me a DM about it. But yeah, I mean, it's been, this process of doing this conversion on Zedrun, I mean, it's a pain in the ass. I don't know what else to call it. It's just, and people have errors and it takes days sometimes. So yeah, I really think as a community, we should really press Zed and let them know like, hey, we want this. This is going to make everyone's life easier. And I mean, it's going to help them because they won't get as many tickets or pitchforks on Twitter saying, hey, what the hell happened here, you know? So I think that's a phenomenal idea. Yeah, I could literally be one click, like someone said in the chat. I want to go ahead.
I was going to say, or ask, I saw that on the website, you guys are integrating on a lot of the other like chains like Binance Smart Chain and a few other ones I forgot, but I saw Binance was one of them coming soon. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, and all of that is community voted as well. So people, if you want to see a particular asset or a particular chain integrated, we'd love to hear what would be most useful to everybody in the community. Because at the end of the day, we want this project to be, as useful to people as possible. Because the more useful it is for you guys, the more successful the project is going to be, and it's just a virtuous circle. And so we're definitely interested in hearing what people need. Which assets people need bridging, and also where they want them to be bridged as well.
Yeah, the cool thing about how we've set up the architecture of this platform is that it's very easy for us to add new assets, and it's very easy for us to add new chains. So what we've been doing ever since the launch is launching about a couple of new assets per week. And so we're basically just desperate to hear what everyone wants. And if we all agree that there would be enough volume and at least some liquidity to support the bridge to do that, we can implement anything in a heartbeat. So if anyone wants something to be implemented, please let us know on our Discord or tweet at us or anything like that, and we'll try to make sure that we get that up as soon as possible.
And we've just made a little polling web page as well, so you can vote on which assets and add listings to that as well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. I feel like you don't see that a lot. Like usually it's a way more painful process for those things to be implemented, but that's great. One thing I do want to show is that, so your guys' native token, you said it's available on Uniswap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, Uniswap v2. So Uniswap has been through a few different iterations. They released v3 about 6 to 9 months ago, where they changed how their system all works. Our main liquidity pool is still on Uniswap v2, so make sure to change over to the v2 section before you try to buy.
Right.
It might be to go to our website. I think we might actually have a link on our website to it. I'll just make sure that that's true.
Sure. Yeah, because I know a couple of people were in the chat asking about how to get this. So.
Will that one go to it? Yeah, I think that's the one. Okay, yeah, cool. So if you go to the Umbria website, which is just umbria.exchange or umbria.network, they go to the same place. And then you click the pool button at the top. There's something that drops down that says Uniswap pair, and if you click that, it'll take you straight to the pair.
Oh, perfect. So import here, and then if I wanted to trade my ETH and spend 0.05. Cool. Let me switch back networks. I just really like showing people, how easy it is. So.
Totally.
Yeah, and this stuff gets complicated, especially when you're new to the game. So how it all works.
Yeah, 100%. So let me ask you guys, what are you guys into Zedrun at all? I mean, you guys are probably just learning more about it, but do you guys play at all?
We're still definitely learning. The Umbria team bought its first horse. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. So we're definitely learning the ropes still, but it's all very interesting stuff.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna offer to give you guys horses if you don't have one already, but it sounds like your team has already got your first one. We stream, we do races and stuff like that. There's a lot of great content creators out there. If you ever want to come check out one of our streams, we'd love to have you back. And then moving forward, as you guys develop this Umbria network and project, would you guys like to come back and maybe share updates with us in our community?
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to get into some Zed bets in a minute. I wanted to thank our guests very much for coming in here. I think that was this is a game changer, guys. I'm going to say it again. I have a command, the bridge command in our chat. This is the only way I'm going to be converting in the future. And a lot of the stuff you guys have said has me very bullish on what you're doing and solving these pain points that, especially for newer people, because we get so many people that are new to Zed. They're new to this entire space. They have no idea what the hell a bridge is. And now I feel like there's a very, easy to use, like user friendly, expensive, and quick solution to solve this problem. So for that, I think I speak for everyone and say we're grateful for what you guys are doing, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having us on. And yeah, if anyone gets stuck or needs help with anything on the bridge, we'll be on Discord as well to help you.
Yeah, happy to help with anything if anyone gets stuck. But yeah, thanks again for having us on the stream. It's been a blast.